Hi my friend, my name is Catherine. This is my channel, Stitching in Costume. Well, welcome back if you're returning, and if you're new, I hope you see something that inspires you to pick up some floss, a needle, maybe quilt something, maybe. At the very least, acquire things. I'm pretty good at that. Okay, so this is my Flosstube number 19, and boy, let's see, it is June 6th, and I always say, boy, I wish I would have come back sooner. I always feel like I don't really have a lot to share, and then I start to get things assembled, and I realize I could be talking for an hour. I hope not. I hope not, because it takes so long for me to upload something that length. So yes, let's get into it. So I've been stitching a lot of things. I have some finishes. I've got some things that I've acquired, and I'm going to unroll an Affendel. I haven't really looked at her, so I got her all off her rods on the side, and we'll take a look at her in a bit. Just to see where I am with that. So let's jump in with my stitching. So let me preface it with just a little bit of life update, because it all kind of ties together. What I've got going on in other parts of my life kind of affects my my stitching time. So for us here in California, the weather is warmer. We've got some sunshine, beautiful. We've had beautiful weather. We've been very lucky. I mean, the hills are turning golden. I call them the golden hills of California. But we still have some weather. We've had rain. We had rain yesterday. I actually had to get out an umbrella. And all, you know, the ground is moist and smells great. And the big news is neither my husband or I are gardeners. We came from a suburban area before we lived here. We moved 3 years ago, and we had a lawn service, and we, you know, barely worked outside in the garden. My husband knows how to do that kind of thing because he has a produce background and did it as a kid. His dad actually, his grandfather had an almond farm in Escalon. And so his dad actually was an inventor of one of those machines that grab the trees and shake them, and the almonds fall down and they catch them and harvest them that way. So he has deep roots, but neither one of us really got the gene to garden. That being said, we are going to be gardeners. He hasn't planted yet. He designed five big 6-foot beds of elevated. So, because we're getting older, we don't want to bend over as much. So we're gonna be dipping our toe in the water of gardening. All that to say, that's going to eat into my stitching time. Usually I'll get up, I have my cup of coffee, I feed the dogs. There's a whole routine. The Corgis need their routine. And then I take the dogs outside, I come back, I finish my coffee a little bit, then I go in and I turn on Flosstube and I start stitching. Right now I'm stitching mostly on an Affendel in the morning. And so now, because it's getting warmer, we're going to get up into, it's going to be almost 100 degrees. That's hot for us. Starting, you know, next week, the end of this week. So I've got to get up and get myself together and get outside and do stuff before it gets too hot. So that means walking dogs. That means working outside in the garden a little bit. So those stitching moments are going to be switched up, and I'm going to be doing them probably when the heat of the day is really going. That's when I'm going to be really digging in. So a little update on my life as it pertains to stitching, as everything does for me. Okay, so I'm going to show you what my May looked like. There's my book of days. And you can see I've got some fun stickers, and Alex drew me a picture right there. That's her. Yeah. So it was full of stitching and some starts. So my whip go, I'm going to talk about that first. Okay, so I'm going to jump in with what was called in the month of May and let you know how I did with it. So I did stay on track and work on the project. So it was actually 3 numbers. So there was a free space for number 13. So of course to me that meant start something. There's also number 14 was called and number 8 was called. So for those, my 14 was Elizabeth Isles and my 8 was Mary Ramage, which I had been, it's been sitting around. So it was good that it got called because it made me pick it up. So I'm going to start with Elizabeth Isles. Now, she's been a little naughty. I have to say she's not been cooperating very much. Let me just share. Okay, so my goal with Elizabeth was, and this is a stitch along. Show you the chart here. This is a stitch along that we're doing for the beautiful Laura Duet. Her birthday start in January. A lot of people picked it up. People are done with it. I'm changing it up completely. I'm making the angels, personalizing them and doing a different motif for that. So, and probably a different verse. So, yeah, completely changing it. Have a lot of plans, which kind of overwhelms me to some degree. Because I have to spend some time figuring out where things are going to go, but it's fine. My goal was to go all the way around the border, get it to meet up with just, there's 3 bands for the border. There's 2 green, darker green and 1 lighter green that goes around the center. So I thought I'll just do that center band and go all the way around. Well, this border, you got to really watch it. It changes up and you have to count and recount and count and count. And there is room for fudging. That is the good thing. Unfortunately, the mistakes I made, because I was trying to get around with one leg of my first cross and then come back and blah, blah, blah. It was all going to be a lot easier in case I did make a mistake. Well, of course I made a mistake. And I got all the way around and I realized I was off by a half a stitch. So that is my challenge when I'm working with this kind of project and I'm thinking I'm going to go around and do one leg and nothing is ironed. Sorry, couldn't manage that. So let me just preface by saying this is a beautiful piece, a picture this plus 36 count sand. Gorgeous. But so what happened? I had to rip. I had to do, the frog came and visited. I know I'm starting off on a kind of a bloop, bloop, low note, but so I went around half cross, got all the way up there, realized that I was off. I was really off. And so I backtracked and I came back and I realized that I think down here and up here, I had only done, I had done my half cross, but I had only gone over 1 thread instead of 2, which I guess is easy for me to do when I'm doing that. So I took it out and I put her away and I said, I'm just gonna, she's on timeout. I tried my best. I was singing to her, braiding her hair, giving her hot cocoa at night, and then she just did that. So she's on a timeout, and until I can get myself together to pick up and restart, or just focus on what I'm going to do. So now I think I'm going to break it down and go from here, do that top part, and then I'll move down and do the border down there. Just because that border, I don't know, it's getting me. These are the beautiful flosses that I'm using. And I keep adding to them because I'm personalizing the angels and making them people in my life. And so there's different sparkly things in there that I'm adding and brighter colors. And what's that one? That one is a good one. That I think is DMC 3810. That's a good blue. That's almost like peacock blue. That's pretty. So I do love it, and I'm not giving up. And she'll come back out. probably soon, but right now she's taking a nap, so we're gonna let her feel better. Okay, what else did I work on for that? Oh, Mary Ramage. And so Ramage, let me find her. I've got all of my, hold please. Here she is. So I have one of these fancy project bags. There, unzipped. This is Hands Across the Sea. Beautiful chart and super easy to work on. She does have a very cooperative border for the most part. Yes, I made a mistake up here right where Nicola Parkman says beware and watch. I wasn't bewaring and watching. I was just plowing through that top part. So I had to kind of fudge the side, but it worked out. It's going to be fine. And now I don't think there's anything to beware about. So I am doing this. This was from a Hobby House Needleworks exclusive. So that's where I ordered it. And it is on hand dyed for Stephanie. Hand dyed fabric by Stephanie. And it's hand dyed by Stephanie. There. And it's toasted almond on 36 count. And I'm doing it with a called for DMC. And that's where I am on it. So, my hoop mark. So you can see I got across the top. For the most part, I know that this is gonna work out. I just need to start going up there with the border or bringing the border down. I did both of those little berry trees, and I'm working on this, I guess it's a stove, like a little stove with a teapot on it. And so this is the Scottish Temperance sampler. So the verse, there's a couple of things. It says, every man's home is his castle. So of course I was going to give this to my husband at some point. And then at the bottom it says, wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging. So maybe that's why there's 2 tea kettles, you know. Let's have tea instead. So yeah, it's a beautiful fabric. I love the pink house, love it. I did change out the gold on the border. I changed it to, it's DMC 3820. And I think the called for that I got in the DMC looked too orangey, so I wanted it to be more like a gold frame. And that's what I did. So those are the colors. Bright, happy, and loving it. So, and I have a lot of that fabric. So I'll tell you later that I have my Christmas stocking sale that I'm doing with Merritt and Kim Coleman. And I think I'm not going to have enough on my piece that I'm doing it on. So I might have enough with this to do my 5th stocking. But I'll talk about that next. Alrighty, so that is Mary Ramage by Hands Across the Sea, and you might still be able to get this on the website for Hands Across the Sea. They might have it in PDF, or Hobby House Needleworks may have it. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so that was those 3 things, and then my free space. What did I do? I had a couple of starts. So let me talk about that. So we're all the way into June, and I wanted to start. There were a couple of friends from Instagram and Flosstube that I wanted to start things with. So let's talk. Let me just do what is calling to me to talk to you about right now. So the Blackbird Design Stockings, which is out of the Home for the Holiday book, is in this one, and I've done the first 4, and I've shown those before. There, it's that, and those, so cute, really pretty. So the one I started, I'll show you in a second here, is stocking 5. So that is the last one, and let me show you what happened. Okay, first of all, yeah, I'll just show you first, and then I'll show you my finished thing. Okay, so these are the stockings, And this is a piece of 35 count. It was just a white Zweigart that I coffee dyed. I dunk it in coffee. And you can see I started number 5 down here, but when I measured out how things were going to end up getting cut off and to be finished, I don't think that's going to work. So what my plan is to go ahead and start finishing these. I'll probably start finishing today, and then see what I have left on this. If I have enough left to do stocking 5, I'll do it on that. If I don't, then I might work with a different piece. At any rate, I'm not gonna stress out about it. I do want to finish it, but this is the little practice stocking I made. So what I did is I made a template, and I thought, before I start cutting into my beautiful handwork here, let's try to make a practice one. And I highly encourage that if you're doing these and you want to try it out, just get some scrap fabric and try to follow the directions and do it yourself. Now I used a 35 count, so it's a little bit smaller than what the called for fabric was. So the template in the book, I don't think it worked. I don't think it worked. I had to enlarge it a little bit. So I used the shape of the template, but I made it just a little bit bigger, just kind of hand drew it. And then, so I made one template and it was too small, and I didn't bring that stocking down. It just was way too, by the time I got it all sewed, I would have been cutting off, by sewing, it would have been, going into the stitching. So I decided to make it bigger, and this one is definitely going to work. So I just used that beautiful blackbird fabric and made a little stocking. Now I wanted to make it so I could put things in it, and so all I did was cut this out twice, so I have a front back, and then I did the same thing with the lining fabric. My tip, the thing I did that I'm going to change is my lining fabric kind of bunched up, so I want to make my lining just a little bit smaller and tighter, so it doesn't get quite so puffy and wrinkly. Now you don't have to line it at all. You can just sew it and sew it around, and then just whip stitch the top, add your trims, add your little hanger, and you're good to go. But I kind of like the idea of being able to put some greenery or I don't know, anything in it. So this is so cute. It could stay out year round, and that was a finish. And so now I know what I'm going to do with those, and I'm excited to get up to my sewing room today and start trying that one out. So again, while I have it out, I did work on Christmas garden just a hair, just a little bit. It was not on a schedule. It was in my room, and I was kind of, processing what I was going to do with the stockings. So this was up there, and I pulled it out and worked on the bottom part. So you can see, I'll get a little closer here. I'm kind of working with some difficult sun issues here, just the time of day. So I added the flowers to the pot at the bottom in the center, right here, and loving it. I am back in love. Get closer for you. And yes, this is a piece of 36 count vintage pearled barley by Lakeside. Beautiful, beautiful fabric, beautiful. And I'm going to personalize it probably with my husband's family's initials. So, yes. Yay. Yeah, so I know I'm going to feel the same way about Elizabeth Isles. Once I get it figured out and I really get going on it, I'm going to be back in love, and she's going to be out of timeout. Okay, so home for the holidays. Grab it if you don't have it. It's fantastic. There's a lot of there's so many great things in that. Okay, so that was my whip go and such. And what else have I been doing? Well, Well, I know that Sherry, the Colorado cross stitcher, is going to be doing cross stitch camp, which I am considering jumping into that water. Let me show you what I have. So the theme for this first month of June is to start something from a holiday. So I don't really have a ton of Patriotic. Oh, you know what? I do have something. I want to pause. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay. I had to run up to my sewing room because I had a finish that I had forgotten about. I can hear my dog. She's hot. Okay. So for Sherry Colorado cross stitcher, she is doing a stitching camp, cross stitch camp. And the theme is to stitch for a holiday. And I don't really have a lot of 4th of July or Patriotic in my finishes. So I thought maybe that's what I'm going to pick out. So I was watching Brenda and Laura, who I hope they're having a great time on their little mini vacation that they're on. They're going to be doing a lot of fun things. Can't wait to see them come back. So I was watching them, and Brenda showed this. And so I had to jet right over to Sub Rosa and download this. And I love it. It is so cool. I don't know which one I want to do first. Probably the eagle and the alphabet. And I don't have fabric picked out yet, but I do have floss. So I've got the red is bandana, which I may change this out now that I'm looking at it. I love this blue. It's called Granny Annie. All right, I had to edit because I showed you the chart. So yes, I'm loving the blue, and it's Granny Annie. It's just so bright and pretty. The red is bandana, which I might change to something a little bit brighter. I don't know yet. We'll see. And then I've got, this is something art thread. Where did I get that? I don't know. Might have gotten it in someone else's stash. And Tin Bucket, which I don't know that I'm going to be using all of those, but I think the eagle, I need to have a gray for the wings. So I think that's what is going to happen for cross stitch camp. So I wanted to pick something small that I could possibly finish by the end of the month. And I haven't jumped on and, taken a photograph or done any of that Instagram stuff yet, which you're supposed to take a photo of your starting place and post it on Instagram and tag Sherry the Colorado cross stitcher, and then she puts all of the names of people that finish into a drawing at the end of the month, I think, and it's for prizes, which that's always fun too, but the prize of having something finished is even better. So on that note, I'm going to show you a couple of my finishes. So this was inspired by Celeste Creates, did little pillows. So last year I put together this little pillow. I just did strip piecing of different fabrics that I had, and then on the white one I just freehanded July 4th, and it's just stuffed with foam, and it sits in a little I have a little wagon or something that I put on my front display when I come into the house, and it greets me there. And then I've also got this. Now I don't know who the pattern maker is. I know it was a freebie, and it's probably in my free file somewhere. If you happen to know who this is, please make a comment below. This is a cute little spool with a flag on it. So what I did is I stitched it, and then I turned it under on all the sides, and I just did a top stitch all the way around. And then I simply laced it onto this. So I put batting underneath it and kind of, did I sew the batting on? I might have just pinned the batting on. And then I did sew this on. So I just laced it like you'd lace a corset kind of. And I think it turned out adorable. So again, year-round design. And then I made this. This is not really a great representation of a tomato, but that goes on top. It's got a little star that I did. It looks cute, right? So again, that'll go on my entry hall table. Okay, on that note, I'm going to show you one more Patriotic finish that I finished. So this is not cross stitch, but it is from Farm Girl Vintage. So this is a fantastic book. If you're not a quilter, I'm not really a quilter. I like to piece quilts. I've done a couple of them, but I'm still trying to dip my toe into the water of quilting. This is so great. It's got so many good blocks that are so easy. She really describes things well. She has a lot of tutorials on her. This is Lori Holt, who I'm talking about. Well, she has a lot of tutorials on her channel on how to complete these blocks in a really easy way. So I highly encourage you to check her out if you haven't looked at her. If you're thinking of quilting, I mean, there's so much great fabric coming out right now. Uh-oh, low battery. Let's see how far I do. If you're thinking about getting into quilting, this is a good one. So I picked out the welcome block. I don't know if I have it here. Yeah, I do. I have it marked. Got the welcome block. Let me see if I can show you without showing you all of the chart. So that one, and I thought, well, that's a good thing for a table runner to come into the house. So this is what I did. I completed those guys in just some scrap fabrics that I had. So I just pulled out fabrics that kind of went together and tried to change it up. And I did 4 of the blocks. And then I pieced them together with strips in the middle. And because the strips were white, I thought I needed something. So I just freehanded I just drew some wavy lines on it. And then I freehanded that to give it a little bit of just a little punch, a little something, just a little something, something. So that is my fun runner, and that goes on, and that's just backed with scrap fabric. And I did a simple stitching down this way. I didn't do any kind of quilting, by hand or super fancy quilting on my machine. I'm still trying to figure out how to finish things without having to always take it into somebody to do the quilting part. I want to see if I can just figure it out, on my machine. So that was another finish. So Patriotic finish, and yes, getting ready. And so I put that out for Memorial Day, and with my husband's dad's flag displayed, and love it. So it'll probably stay out all through July. Summer, right? I can put other things out there. Okay, so let me get back on track here. I have a low power mode showing up on my iPad here, so we'll see how fast I can go here. If I run out of steam, I'll come back. Okay, so let's see here. This is, okay, so this was a start. So this was, I think, my start that I did in May, and I did this with Andrea Caffrey, who is, she is on Instagram. I will put her Instagram handle around here. I think it's Fillin69. I think that's what it is. Andrea asked if I would do a stitch along, and I said absolutely, because I had mentioned it on my channel that I wanted to start this, and I had the silks ready and the fabric ready. And she messaged me and said she had it too and want to start it together. And I said, sure. So we are working on Harriet Goddard together. And I'm not as far as she is because I am trying to, stitch on Affendel quite a lot. So, but I love it. And I'm working with the Victoria Clayton silks, which are gorgeous. And I'm doing this on a piece of 40 count Geo Vanilla. So let me just say, I love these silks, and I like them. I worked with them with Jessie Watson on a 36 count fabric that I had, and they were beautiful, but on 40 count, they are magical. The coverage is absolutely beautiful. The way they lay the fabric on the fabric is really fantastic. So here's my sweet little start on Harriet Goddard Look at that, pretty. And this is 40 count Gia Vanilla from Tropical Stitches. Very light modeling, very beautiful. Working really well with these silks. Let me see if I can hold it up in a better way. Let me bring my board down. Yes, I'm cuckoo for it. Okay, there we are. Yeah, turning out pretty. Not much to say other than I love it and it's easy. I'm stitching all the alphabets right now. Whoop! Just threw my silks on the floor. So it's easy to do. Alphabets are fun. They go pretty quickly. So I am just down. I've got a bit more to go, and I think I'm going to have quite a bit of fabric left over. I don't know how far down it will go, but I have a lot on this side, so really beautiful. So that is Harriet Goddard 1817, and if I didn't say it, it's Hands Across the Sea samplers. I got this, I believe I got it from Hands Across the Sea and had it sent to me, and it's been ready to go for a bit. So that was a fun start, Andrea. Thank you for joining in. If anybody else wants to join in, we don't have a hashtag. We probably should get a hashtag on that one so people can join in that, Sal, if you want to. But if you end up stitching it, just tag me and so I can see your progress, because it's always fun to do that if you're on Instagram. Okay, let's move on. All right, before my battery runs out. So this is Anne Flat, and I worked on Anne just a little bit. And again, Anne is she is usually just my evening sitting at, by the TV stitching. I'm modifying her. So all about that, no, I'm not doing those. I'm just doing that part. And this is by Modern Folk Embroidery. It is a great chart. And it's beautiful with the alphabet. I just felt at the time when I started it, I felt like I was alphabeted out, and I wanted another Adam and Eve. So let me show you what I've done on that. So here is my progress, and this is on 36 count. It is Access Commodities, honey. Let me just make sure. Sometimes I put them on. Yeah, I put a little tag, like Carol Saltbox Stitcher mentioned that, and I think I started doing that after she mentioned it, is on my floss ring, I put a tag saying what all the specifics are. So this is 37 count Wild Honey by Legacy Linen. See? Legacy Linen. And it's DMC, and I just kind of grabbed things that I liked. If you're interested in any of the colors, let me know. Let me just tell you real quick the red. Everybody, I'm always interested. Red is 816 by DMC, and this really cool looking blue is 924. So yeah, it is neat. And so I've worked on some of the border flowers, and I gave Eve some good hips. I modified that a little bit and made her a little bit curvier. I don't think it was intended, I didn't intend to. I think it just happened and I went with it. So that's going to be a sweet little sampler when it's all said and done. So that is Anne Flat by Modern Folk Embroidery. Really enjoying working on all my samplers. They're so much fun. Okay, so what else do I have here? This one is in my Teresa Kogut bag. Boy, did she, oh my gosh. I watched her channel. Okay, her Flosstube, not the most recent one, I haven't seen that yet, but the one before where she shows her Patreon charts, some of her Patreon charts that are coming out, that Halloween chart. She is so good. She is such a great designer. I just feel like she is singing right now. She's taken off. She's like a phoenix right now. She is going, and her designing is just amazing. And I like that she stitches now, because I think a lot of her charts, she's really paying attention to, you know, how easy it is to stitch things. You know, it's so different. She's a great punch needle designer as well. And punch needle, I think, I've never tried it, but I have a feeling, you know, it goes a little faster. And to do all the fill-in and the background and stuff, you just do it, right? So I think she, initially when she first started designing, there was a lot of fill-in, and I was like, oof, this is taking some time. But I feel like now that she is stitching, the things that she's coming out with they're easier to stitch, and boy, are they beautiful. So I actually said, I might have to have another Patreon I follow, because she's just amazing, and I want all of her charts. Anyway, all that to say, this is not a Teresa Kogut project that I'm working on in my Teresa Kogut bag, but I got this on her website. Okay, so the Rose Cottage sampler, and this is Stacy Nash. I can never say that. And I don't know why it's so hard for me to say her name, but I love her. I love this one. I haven't done a ton on it, but I did pull it out. Let's see what I've worked on. And these were random. I mean, you know, I don't really have a rotation per se right now. I just kind of pull things out as I really feel I want to work on them. So I worked a little bit on the house and got a lot more of that done. And the windows, and working on the door, just filling stuff in, and love it. So let me tell you what I am using for this. This is 36 count, Picture This Plus Heartland, and DMCs, all called for. I didn't change anything out, and I am gonna personalize this band right here a little bit. I have some designs that I kind of noodled around with just on graph paper to add like a spool and scissors and things that I'd want in my little rose cottage. But yeah, so not a lot of progress, but I love it. It's a sweet, and again, easy to work on, easy to see. So that is definitely down by the pool. We've been going down by the pool at 4 o'clock, and when it's super hot, we have to get down there, and the dogs jump in the water. It's great. But oh, I'm back in shorts again. Which, there's nothing wrong with wearing shorts, but it's just like putting on your summer clothes after you've been like in these baggy sweaters and leggings, having to put shorts back on and pull them down. Okay. Anyway, what else do I have here? Oh, this was another new start. So this was, I think, what I chose to do for my June start. Was it? Yeah, I think so. So this was Marlis, who won my Catherine Dickinson chart, and I sent it off to her, and she said, oh, well, would you like to start it? And I said, boy, sure, yes, let's do it. So we started Catherine Dickinson together. She's probably, again, way ahead of me. But this is the chart. And it's by Scattered Seeds Samplers. Again, I'm working on all the alphabets. And what am I using? I am using 36 count Dusty Road by Seraphim, and it's called for, but I did sub out this red, and I found this Soie Cristal by Karen Silks. I actually found a local needle workshop that is mostly needlepoint and yarn, so they don't have cross stitch at all. And but they do have some Gentle Arts, and they have some Gloriana, and they have some other silks, Crystal, and then they have specialty threads, some DMC and Kreinik and things like that. But this was a pretty red, and I felt like that red was really close to the red that I saw in the picture. The red that was called for didn't feel like it popped enough for me, so gotta pop. So this is where I am on it. And beautiful fabric. And I'm just going across the top, taking my time, and again, down by the pool, sitting with a hoop, stitching in hand. Sometimes I do the sewing method with this. It just depends on the straight things. I can just do that sewing method. But you know, I like a hoop. It keeps me on track a little bit more. Really enjoying that, and we'll be getting that out probably this week. Stitching away. Okay, what else do I have here? Oh, Jane Stanwick's. She's my start. I think I started her last month. I'm not sure if I shared her or not. So let's see where I am on Jane. So Jane Stanwick's 1843 is on 36 count parchment and Weeks Dye Works. Zweigart based. And I am using my own conversion. I don't know, I just grabbed a whole bunch of things that looked close. I put it on my Treehouse Fiber Arts floss drops with the little red house because I guess I should show you the chart. And this is by Samplers Revisited. I think Brenda, the sampler stitcher, is planning to start her soon. Let me get close for you. Yeah, I'm playing with sun right now. Not really cooperating, but yeah, it's beautiful. I so much about it. I love the symmetry. Okay, yeah, I keep getting these battery warnings. I love the symmetry. So let's see here. This is the flosses I chose. Let me go through it. Oh, Peacock, which I really love. The red I chose is Current, and the other red I chose is Cupid, which has a lot of fun sparkly variegation in it. I've got some purple I'm going to throw in there. So I just looked at the chart and I pulled things that I thought looked like it and worked on my fabric. So let's see, did I show you I guess I should show you where I am on it. Making progress. Pretty much got the house complete. Did I? I got it complete, yes. The house is done. And I am moving up, starting to travel upward. Everything is lining up good. I'm loving it. It's the Cupid that you see in the house, that variegation. And yes, I can't wait to have this one finished. So that for sure. Ooh, I can't wait to frame this and hang this. I have loved this so much. I saw somebody, I think it was Lisa Kindred Stitcher. She was showing the country sampler, or country sampler, the place she went before she went to Amana for Farm Girls retreat. She and Lori Textilist and Lost in Floss. Oh gosh darn it. Okay, you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm sure you've seen her video. If you haven't, go check it out. And she does a whole recap. And that store, Country Sampler, I want a room that looks just, that mimics that store somehow. So I have ideas. And this was hanging up on the wall. I can't wait to finish that. So that's a good one. That's a keeper. Jane Stanwick's Samplers Revisited. Join in. That one's fun. Okay, let's see. Let me grab really quick because I know I'm going to be running out of time here. This one, this is on my radar. I'm not going to show that. Okay, this one is something I've been working on. This is Rosetta Featherstone. And again, this was through Hobby House Needleworks. She is from Hands Across the Sea. Another red house, love it, and all the fun motifs. And I'm doing this one on 36 count antique lace. This was in the kit that came, and it's by Seraphim. And I started it, I put my starting date as December 25th. So this is my Christmas start. And these are all the DMC. And here she is. Yeah, I got around the border, but that's about all I've done on it. I worked a little bit on some of those berries, but really sweet. So that is Rosetta, and that's where I am. That's where I am. All good. They'll all get done. They'll be finished. Okay, let me keep these things together so I don't get lost. Okay, now, we're drum roll, please. We're going to be unrolling an Affendel. I call her fondly Ann Uff, and this is, I love it so much. By Hands Across the Sea. I know you've seen it. I'm sure you've seen people finish it. There's a lot of people stitching it right now, and feels like everybody's stitching it a lot faster than I stitched it. I am trying, I'm doing my best, but let me show you where I am. So I haven't really unrolled it to look at it, but I'm gonna look at it with you. So these are the silks I got at through the attic in Arizona, and I made a little thing that tells me what all my flosses are with the cup, anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And this is on a 36 count vintage pearled barley. Now I'm going to have to stand up and move back because it's really big. So again, I haven't really looked at it. I've been looking at it every day, but I haven't unrolled it all. So this is on my roller frame, and I did get the mitten clips. If you are familiar with Fauna Pfeiffer, she talks about mitten clips and Velcro on the side of the roller frame. Game changer. It made the tension so perfect that I was able to actually get really good tension on it. So let's take a look at her. Take my time here so I don't have it come off these guys. That's the bottom. So that's what I mostly worked on, was moving up. And look at all that satin stitch I did. That was interesting. Satin stitch, padded satin stitch, not a problem. Counting it all out and outlining it by counting it, that was creative. So I think I have all the flowers done, but I know I don't have all the leaves that go on the flowers done. So, but let's take a look and see where I am. So I started at the top, came down the sides, and now I'm moving up through the center. Got it? And there she is. Oh, love it. These Averaswa silks are so gorgeous. Everything about it, just so pretty. I toyed with the idea of changing the verse, changing the name. I am so in awe of her. I don't think I'm going to touch any of that. I love her so much, and I know other stitchers have talked about how much they love the stitch and that they're going to be sad when it's done. I have that in my heart now. I understand. I didn't get it, but now I get it. I love it so much. I work on her every morning, and we'll see. When I finish her, I will finish her. I had said I want to finish her by my birthday. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. My birthday's coming up soon, so I'm committed to working on her until she's done every day. So we'll see. So there she is. Right now the sun is really playing with me, so move it around. I still have a lot of over one to do up there, and I have these two motifs on the sides above, and I have more satin stitch, padded satin stitch. Yay! So there's my big finale. Ta-da! Alrighty, so again, that's where I am. I've got these guys to do, which there's a lot of like rainbow stitching. That means I'm changing floss a lot in those guys. So It'll be done when it's done. Hey, I did have another finish. So I did I say I'm not a quilter, but I did work on this quilt. So my son's girlfriend, Mariana, is leaning into doing some crafting. Cross stitch was not her thing, but quilting she's really taken to. So she's very good at precise things. She follows directions well. She goes very slowly on the machine and takes her time doing stuff like that. So I said, let's do a quilt together. So I found this layer cake. It's a Lori Holt cookbook layer cake. It's beautiful fabric. It was, I think it was like half price on Missouri Star Quilt Company. And so I snatched up a layer cake of that and I thought, well, we'll make a throw, right? I found on Missouri Star Quilt, I will link this video below. They had a really easy quilt block. So you can make a scrappy quilt block out of your layer cake really easily. It was super, super easy to follow. So I did all the cutting and I did some of the piecing and then she came in and pieced the rest of it. So this will be hers at some point, but let me show you. I will hold it up and then I'll probably insert a picture here of what it looks like outside in the sun and the whole thing in all of its glory. But here it is. So cute. I love this fabric. I love how vintage it feels and the quilt pattern, how it made it look all scrappy, but it still matches. So we didn't have to, worry about lining a bunch of seams up. If it, ended up not looking perfect, that was okay. It turned out way bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little throw, and it's something that you could put on a table, like a tablecloth, or you could it could go on a queen size, just like a queen size topper, definitely twin size for sure. I found this really cute fabric to do the border around it that looks like little pies. It's not a Lori Holt fabric. It just was a remnant I found in the local store. It was a Riley Blake. I can't remember who it was by, but it's like all of these little, pies and cookies and things like that. And it works well enough with this. It's so scrappy that really works. So now I'm at the point where I was going to quilt it myself, or I was going to do diagonal lines on it. But I don't, it's big. It's way bigger than I thought it was going to be. So I might have to actually take it in and have somebody do a long arm treatment on it, which, hey, this fabric when I bought it was like $25. Look at all that. It makes the biggest quilt. Those layer cakes, I'm telling you, that is a great way to go. If you're new to quilting like I am, that's a really handy. Those are handy. Speaking of fabric, I did buy the threads that bind. I bought it from a couple of different places. This is one of the fat quarters bundles that I found. I haven't even unwrapped it, but it's got all the fun colors in it. And it has the, everybody is clamoring, I am clamoring for that sampler fabric. Really pretty colors. I don't know what quilt I will do with it. I know Carol Saltbox Stitcher showed quilts on her last quilting video, and there was one on there she didn't, because it's been so long since she's done them that she doesn't really know what they all are, but there's one star within a star, just beautiful. So something like that I'd like to do with that to really let the fabric shine. And I do love stars. I love stars. So we'll see. What else did I find? Okay, I'm going to show you a couple of finds that I had and a couple of things that are on my, I guess I'm going to sit down again. I just know I'm going to run out of time on my iPad. A couple of things that I found at the thrift store. So I'm a thrifter. I love going out and finding treasures, right? Spools, and I'm really drawn to needlework finishes, needlework tools and things like that. So I found this. I found two things. So look at this cool. Okay, that's gonna slide right out. Whoop. It's such a cool little, these things lift up and you put your spools in them. It looks homemade. Someone's husband probably made it. Let's see, let me show you the bottom. $5. Has a drawer that comes out. I toyed with the idea of refinishing it, but I kind of want to leave it like this. And there's still the red velvet on top. I'm probably going to just leave it and display it. I don't know that I will. I mean, I could put spools on here and actually have it function, but we'll see. I just love it so much. So I was excited to find that. Right next to it, let me show you what else I got. Okay. Now, Lisa Kindred Stitcher found the cutest rocking chair pincushion and redid it. I have one of those. This is a rocking couch. Look at that. It is adorable. Now this is how it came. It had spools on it. It has this funky, green stuff that I'm going to recover. It's got places in the back for all of the scissors. So I feel like this one I will refinish. I am going to give it a little wash, and I'll probably paint it and distress it and wax it and make it look kind of rich like that. And I'll probably put a sampler fabric on this, a blackbird sampler fabric. And look what else I'm going to put on it. My dear friend, she doesn't know I'm going to show these, but I have to show them because they look so perfect. Susan Stanley, who we know is like an incredible Flosstuber and wonderful person. Everybody loves Susan. She is just, she's wonderful. And she's a very talented quilter. She's been showing her quilts on Instagram this week, and wow. I mean, it's just amazing. She's so good. So she made me these little pillows to say thank you for doing a Flosstube with her, which thank you for asking me to do that. Look at these little pin pillows. They're filled with like walnut shells or emery and foam. They're pears and they look perfect on this. So I'm going to cover this, I'm going to finish this, and that's what is going to happen. These are going to live there, and this is a new treasure. $5. Thrift stores, I'm telling you, don't just, go check them out. You never know what you're going to find. That is all I'm going to talk about as far as like acquisitions. I do have some things that are on my radar. I really want. Okay, it's only going to seem like a moment for you, but it was actually 2 days. 2 days later, I'm finally getting myself back together to finish this video. And I wanted to say thank you, first of all, for everybody that had left a very nice comment. For our daughter Alex came on my Flosstube and talked about her stitching and got some really nice feedback and some great suggestions. So again, thank you so much for the warm welcome you gave her. That was very nice of you. And this is a great community. I knew she was in good hands here. On that note, I want to give a little shout out to a couple of new Flosstubes to me. One of them I think a lot of you are already tuned into and watching, because a lot of people are talking about linen and scraps with Molly and Kathy. They are so much fun to watch. They have great projects. Of course, Kathy has been stitching for a really long time and has some beautiful samplers and a lot of inspiration in that direction. She's always got new, they're going to be new to us that she is sharing that are just amazing. And Molly is just, she's a hoot, and she is back to cross stitching. I'm not sure, I can't remember if she had cross stitched before and now she's coming back to it like a lot of us, or if it's all new to her. She is amazing. She stitches so fast and she fully finishes her projects, which I need to get better at that. But, they're wonderful, and I highly recommend. I'll link them in my description box, as well as a new Flosstuber. She has, I think she's got under 1,000 subscribers. She's popped up on my feed, Christina from Stitchy Symphony. She is a nurse who during the pandemic somehow, she contracted COVID, and she had been fully vaccinated, so it wasn't really dire for her, but she had to isolate. And when she isolated, quarantined, she came across Flosstube, and she found Flosstube and fell down that hole, and then she started on her journey of sharing her Flosstube as well. So check her out. She is great. Again, I'll link her below. She has a lot of energy. She's got some great projects that she's working. She stitches really fast, and she got her husband into stitching, and he's really good as well. So definitely check those two Flosstubes out, and tell them I said hi if you stop over there. Okay, so in the couple of days that I've been not filming, I did manage to do some fully finishes on my Blackbird stockings. So there's just two of them. I wanted to make sure I had enough fabric. I do, but I have to kind of undo what I had started for stocking number 5. So I got these two done because they were at the bottom of my piece of fabric, and I think they turned out pretty cute. I mean, I'm really tempted to add more things to them and make them all, foofy, but I think they look really cute like this. And I feel like if I add seasonal things to them, like right now I could probably put little flags in them for 4th of July, Patriotic, and then so on and so forth. So that's my first two little finishes, and I did make them so that they have opening and they're lined. So yes, finished. Okay. I said I was going to wrap it up. I am going to wrap it up, but I want to share a couple of things for things that I am looking forward to working on soon. In the meantime, since I filmed that last segment, I did manage to get this, which I had to crack. I had to get it. It is so good. There are so many great projects in this. I don't know what I'm going to do first. Probably this little, that pin cushion. Probably that pin cushion right there. So pretty. So yes, there's a lot in here. I got a couple of the flosses to get to. I just went on my 2-3 stitch. I just couldn't resist anymore. I also, let's see, I'm gonna hold off on that. Oh, I did kit this up. So this was a generous gift from Cindy. Cindy Stitches on Instagram sent me this. It was really nice of you, Cindy. Thank you so much. And so I have been working on getting that kitted up. I got most of the fibers for it. Most of the flosses, and I still need to pick out some fabric, but I think that's going to be my next start, most likely. Having said that, I would like to participate in, I know they're doing, it is Angie from Tiny House and Michelle from Sacramento, California, Michelle Hudson. I think they're hosting a summer stocking sale, and this stocking I had in my stash, and this is probably what I would be starting in July. I really love this. I don't have the fabrics, but I'll probably, the flosses, I probably will do DMC and change out for overdyes if I see fit as I go along. I love that one so much. I just love the woo, maybe. So that is going to be a start. And also the Queen's Jubilee, I didn't start anything, and then I thought, oh, I have this pattern. So this is probably what I'm going to start. It's kind of over, but hey, she's still kicking and going and being awesome. So I thought, in honor of the Queen, I'll be doing Corgi Caboodle by Plum Street, and I have the DMC for that. I just need to pick out some fabric and start it. So most likely that's going to be down by the pool kind of a start. Okay, I think that is pretty much all I want to share. I do have, oh, you know what? I'm going to share this really quick. So I'm gonna flash this really quick. You can get this on Fat Quarter Shop. It is Lori Holt's Granny Square free patterns, and they're free. So, but go check out if you're interested. They're little cute little Granny Square patterns that you can do in DMC or convert to overdyes. So that was really generous and fun. Okay, I think that that's gonna do it. So I'm gonna string this all together and try to make it as cohesive as I can. And I'd like to thank you again for watching, and we'll see you soon. And to all you people that lucky stitchers that are going to StitchCon, have so much fun. I know that it must be fun to get in a room full of like-minded stitchers and just have a great time. I've yet to do a retreat, but one of these days I'm going to weasel my way in somewhere. Okay, you all. I love you. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.